you're gonna wanna get the cinder blocks. And you wanna first determine what your shape is going to be. So I stack these like a pyramid. Take it over here, and we're gonna actually stencil on here. I've also got some just regular acrylic paint. I've decided that I kind of want to do my big flower here, and you can use any stencil that you want. I highly recommend not using a paper stencil because it'll last you longer. So all I'm doing is I'm sponging with a sponge stencil to get the paint onto my cinder block. You'll need to use a little bit of paint because as you'll notice it gets kind of porous, and then remove your stencil. How cool is that? What I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna stencil the rest of my blocks, and then when we come back, you'll see how we're gonna start to put our plants in. So I went and used quite a few of my different flower patterns all throughout. So the next step is going to be to pot our plants. So you can use a bed liner, or if you have burlap, you can also use burlap. So I'm gonna put my burlap right inside my cinder block there to line that. That's gonna help with drainage. I'm going to put a little bit of potting soil in here before I put my plants in. And then I'm gonna grab my flowers here. You're gonna wanna check based on where you're putting your cinder block arrangement, if it needs sunlight, what kind of weather it can be in. Now, if you do have smaller plants and you need to add in a little bit of extra soil, you can. For my next layer, I'm gonna use this Mondo grass, which is just kind of a fun little filler. Okay, last but not least, I'm gonna put my flower arrangement here. All right, so here's a little tip. Keep a nice small brush and dustpan, because this makes it really easy versus using a large broom to clean up any of that extra soil. But what do you guys think? I'm really happy with how this guy turned out. I think it's just such a fun, colorful add to our outdoor space here in our studio. You can always put some faux plants in there, so that's something to think about. It's also really inexpensive. You can get a cinder block for $2, or you may also have a cinder block laying around in your garage. So keep in mind, I also use the single cinder blocks. You can use the double ones as well. So there really are so many different things that you could do with it.
I found an old tire at a garage sale, and I knew I could make this into something fun for my backyard. So I started by cleaning it really well, getting all the dirt off, and then I spray painted it using this bright aqua color. It took a couple coats, and I only needed to paint the front and the sides. I left the inside bare and the back bare as well. So I grabbed a heavy-duty coated hook, and I screwed it to the side of a playhouse in our backyard. This is just a big blank wall, and I wanted to put something colorful on here. Once the hook was screwed into the wall, I just placed the tire on it. It's sturdy enough that it's going to hold the tire and it's going to keep it in place nice and secure. Then I added some soil and some colorful flowers. This area of my yard gets a decent amount of sun, so these flowers are really going to thrive in this little planter here. And now I have a colorful piece of decor on the side of this playhouse. This was a really easy DIY and one that you can do with an old tire. I hope you're inspired to go try to repurpose a tire of your own. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
You can pick an umbrella up at a lot of locations, and I found this one on clearance at Walmart. So to start this project, you're going to open the umbrella up. Next, I'm going to place the umbrella upside down on the ground. Next, we need to create some drainage, and I'll be using a punch, which has a sharp end, and you use a hammer to poke holes or get drill holes ready in different projects. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stab multiple holes through the umbrella using this punch. And they don't need to be very big, but if you want to make them really big, you can. But ultimately, all you're doing is poking some holes for some ventilation through the umbrella. So again, the number of holes you need depends upon what you're planning in here. Okay, so for this next step, I wear my gardening gloves. I like the rubber on the bottom to protect my hands. In addition to that, we need to think about what we're planting in here. So if you are planting something that needs more drainage, you might want to put some rocks on the bottom to help with drainage. The rocks will also help with some of the weight so that it doesn't blow away. But I'm also going to use dirt, and you'll want a nice rich potting soil that has lots of nutrients in it to help your plants grow. So here's a quick look at the dirt inside, and if you look closely, you might even see some earthworms, which is a sign of fantastic soil. For this next step, it's time to plant. So I'm gonna dig a little bit of a hole, place my plant inside, and then I'm gonna work around and press the roots into place. And I'm gonna continue doing this with all of my plants very carefully. Now sometimes they get a little transplant shock, so you might see the color shift in your plants after you've planted them. This is normal. Now that they're all planted, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little water. Now, since these are succulents, you can also put a little rock around them to also help with the drainage and give them a little more style. But ultimately, they're gonna keep growing and fill in the space. So here it is all planted, and if you look close, you'll see my solar light in the background. And this will make it not only a daytime decoration for my yard, but it also makes it an evening display as well. And I hope this inspires you to make an umbrella planter of your own.
This was exactly what I needed for my next project. First thing I'm going to do is add some of this salt wash compound to some paint. I've got some ivory coloured paint. That's pretty much equal. I may have to go back and add a little bit more paint, but just stir it up. And the great thing about salt wash is, even though it looks white, it actually has no colour. So you can put it with any colour paint and it doesn't change the paint colour at all. So it's like a very, very thick batter. Okay, I've now got my waste paper bin and I've put it on a Lazy Susan so that I can turn it around as I'm working, because this is going to get quite messy. That's why I'm wearing gloves. So, holding it on the top and picking up some of the salt wash mixture on my brush, and you don't want to use a good brush for this. An old chip brush would be really good. And I'm applying it with a stippling effect, like that technique. Move it around a little bit and carry on. So I'm just going to do this same technique all over this waste paper basket. So I have gone all the way around my waste paper basket, and I just used that 1 scoop of salt wash and 1 scoop of paint. It actually does go a really long way. And now, just using the edge of my brush, I'm just going to apply it to the rim on the top as well. Now I'm going to take a flat brush. Again, an old chip brush would work perfectly well. I'm going to go back over and I'm just stroking it really with the bristles, going in different directions to give it some interest. This is dry now and it's got some really great texture on it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a coat of this lovely deep pink paint. It's called Sugar Plum. Just making sure that I cover it. It should only take 1 coat, depending on the paint you're using, of course. Okay, my second layer of paint is dry now. So taking some 80 grit sandpaper, start sanding. And what is going to happen is it's going to take the pinky red paint off the top and we're just going to go through to the ivory paint beneath. You can do this as little or as much as you want. You can just do it in parts. So I'm going to go all the way around mine and then I'll show you the finished project. And here's my finished planter. I'm really happy with it. And the good thing about salt wash is that you can actually put this outside depending on the paint you use. And here's another one I did using different colours. I made use of the bands on the waste paper bin and just did every other one. And this time I used a very pale yellow underneath and then a lovely teal colour on top. And then here is a ceramic pot that I did. This one, I did it the other way around. I used the teal first and then a pale green on top, but I didn't knock back that first top coat quite as much, and it does give quite a different look. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode and you're inspired to have a go with Salt Wash yourself. It really is a fun product to use.